The market is at an exciting level, and there's going to be a lot of opportunity throughout the rest of this week. Tesla stock reported earnings and after hours today, and there was some big news with one, Tesla semi-trucks set to be delivered starting this December, and there was also some pretty big statements from Elon, so we're going to definitely talk about that, but we're also going to talk about some good setups for tomorrow in the stock market, and some really important things you want to keep your eye on for the rest of this week, because it's about to get exciting. Tom, let's get right into it.
Yeah, Mike, you can see the S&P 500 started popping up at the end of the day, actually, even though Tesla fell, which I thought was pretty interesting that the SPY ended up holding. But the big news was obviously with Tesla today. They reported earnings in after hours and really tanked down all the way down to lows, Mike, around 206.50. They are consolidating now more around 214. I will say I've seen stocks stage some comebacks before, but as you can see by the frowny face here, this was definitely a pretty bad move to the downside. I know a lot of people were running into calls with this. So let's get into the nitty gritty stuff that they ended up reporting today. So they actually beat on EPS with 1.05 on the report versus a 99-cent estimate, but they did lose out on revenue very slightly. They reported 21.45 billion versus 21.96 billion expected. Now that is pretty much the main negative that I am seeing with Tesla right now. I know there is a couple other of negative things throughout the articles and throughout the report, but that is the big thing and the big reason why I think it ended up dropping today. But I will say, Mike, there was some good stuff that came out. They reported some stuff with their new semi trucks possibly delivering in December, which is awesome. But something that was very interesting today, Mike, with Elon Musk, he went on Twitter and 1 hour ago, he put on Twitter that I will not let you down no matter what it takes. This is insane, guys. He did this right before earnings, and I'm sure a lot of people ended up buying calls because they saw this, because obviously Elon Musk is just so influential. I could not believe he did this, Mike. I thought that was insane, and Tesla's stock is now going down. Hopefully this recovers up, or else he might get some flack tomorrow.
Exactly. And when I saw that tweet, it's very unusual to see that like an hour before earnings too. So like you said, like it caused a lot of like curiosity among investors. To me, I feel like it's a very open-ended tweet. It's like, was Elon talking about Tesla earnings? Was he talking about, his mission with Mars? Was he talking about the Twitter acquisition? Like, I feel like there's so many things and so many ways you can interpret it where it's just interesting, even the Twitter deal. So it is very interesting. And speaking of the Twitter deal, I know that with Tesla stock, a lot of people have been asking, or a lot of times Elon Musk has been asked whether he might sell more Tesla shares to fund the Twitter deal, and he has not commented on it recently. So it is possible that he could sell more Tesla shares to fund this Twitter deal. It's a possibility, and obviously if he sells more shares, it's not going to be good for Tesla stock.
Yeah, it's really not. That could be another reason why why it ended up going down today as well, Mike. But crazy price action here with Tesla, guys. Be very careful with this one over the next few days. Looking at the daily chart right now, Tesla didn't necessarily fall down below any recent lows or anything like that. There is still a humongous support down here around 206 to 208, which is like right around, I think, where it got to around that low of day. So definitely watch it. That's a big support down there. Maybe we can come back, Mike. There is a couple green candles kind of sneaking in right now. So hopefully it gets back up there and maybe this sad face can turn upside down.
True. So like with Tesla earnings, I feel like they weren't necessarily bad. I just feel like they weren't good enough to truly wow investors and make the stock pop up. And at the same time, Tesla stock is the fifth most influential stock in the S&P 500. So clearly the way it moves will impact the market overall and just other tech stocks. Looking at Tesla stock, I'm not necessarily extremely bearish on it. I'm not necessarily extremely bullish on it either, but I feel like it's at a point right now where it's like it's pretty oversold over the past couple weeks. We are at some pretty decent support levels right around $200 to $210. So I think the rest of the week will be filled with some big moves.
Yeah, I think it could too, Mike. I went ahead and circled those big supports down there. That's 3 bounces now that we're seeing off of that support. I know a lot of my technical guys out there might say this looks like a bit of a head and shoulders pattern if this ends up holding up here on support. So watch it, guys. We could maybe see a trend reversal, but obviously, the stock is down right now. So you have to be very careful with this one. I could see a lot of volatility tomorrow, Mike. If it does end up breaking this support, I think we could end up maybe seeing a lot of sellers come in and possibly end up obviously falling down below $200, which is going to be a very crucial level to watch. I mean, $200, that is a very psychological level.
And another thing I want to say, because this has happened in the past, is Tom, we'll make a video about Tesla earnings, and the next thing you know, like, let's say by pre-market the next morning, the stock is just completely reversing. So with Tesla, it is a crazy mover, arguably one of the most volatile stocks in the S&P 500. So keep it on your radar because the tide can turn with this one very quickly.
Yeah, it definitely can. And with all the news coming out about their factory starting to ramp up and everything like that, who knows? Maybe that will start to drive some buyers in. And I know that news with the semi truck delivering in December should be pretty good as well. I know that they did miss out on some delivery numbers on their previous report, but I didn't think it was too bad. They only missed out just by a little bit. So, and it was just an expectation. They still grew very well year over year. And they said on a multi-year horizon, they expect to achieve 50% annual growth in vehicle deliveries. And right now, that seems to be holding up. So if that's true, Mike, that's going to be very good numbers in the next coming years.
Awesome. So, Tom, I have to talk about one setup that I've really been eyeing lately, and that's Shopify. So, Shopify stock has been on one wild ride over the past year with highs around $176 a share. Right now, it's lingering right around 28, and it's very oversold in the short term. It has a great history of big moves. It's at a pretty big support level, and what I like about it is that this stock has not popped up that much yet. It's still very close to lows. It's a quality company. I think this company will do just fine and actually good over the coming years. I have been buying some shares for the long term, but I'll tell you, like, even for the short term, it's pretty tempting given how oversold it is and given that it didn't really pop up that much yet. So I'm really watching it. They have earnings pretty soon and it's at a good level, so I want to share it.
Yeah, definitely. And I do see a pretty big resistance here on the daily chart at $30. So maybe we could get a nice pop up through that for Shopify. And I know that we got pretty close to it earlier this week. So I could maybe see some more momentum coming in as well, Mike. But one of my favorite stocks today was actually Netflix. So Netflix really exploded yesterday with earnings, guys, and it actually held up very well today. It had a nice double top up here right around 279. So if we could maybe break that tomorrow, I think we could maybe see a pretty good run to the upside. I will say, though, this is a very, very risky setup. Be very careful trading this, especially with that big resistance up there. That is going to be a crucial level to make sure you break tomorrow, and always be careful of fake outs. We could break this and start selling right back down as some sellers come in. So just be careful, guys, but it looks like a grade A setup to me. And I'm still glad, Mike. It's holding up very well, even though the market got a little bit shaky at the end of the day.
Love to see it. Another one I'm watching is TTWO, so Take-Two Interactive. This stock has held up very well, especially over the past couple weeks. And what's awesome is this stock finished in the green today on a day where many other industries were in the red. Tom, take a look at the heat map really quickly just to show how many industries were red today. It was basically everything except for the energy industry. So that's awesome, So looking at TTWO, back to the setup, it's in the green, it's holding up well. It has been bouncing off of the 120 level so many times lately, especially between May and September of this year. I counted like 5 to 6 bounces off of 120, and we're slightly back above that level again. It's holding up, so it's definitely on my radar for potential continuation.
Yeah, definitely. There's a ton of bounces there at 120, Mike. What a big support. And it really looks like it's about to break 122 here, or I mean like 122.50. So definitely watch it. It's a runner here. And like you said, it ended up green today on a day where a lot of stocks ended up down. I'm kind of curious, Mike. I know that they had that news leak with Grand Theft Auto 6 a little while ago. Maybe that'll help drive some buyers back in here.
Yeah, definitely possible. I think there's a lot of potential for growth with this one, not only over the next couple of years, but even over the next 5 to 10 years, just given how much gaming is growing, and they're a powerhouse player in their industry. So I actually own this one for the long term. So I like it in that sense. And for the short term, it's not looking too bad either.
Yeah, I mean, I really like that longer term chart. And another stock, Mike, that I'm keeping my eyes on is actually an oil play. It's going to be XLE, which is a fund that pretty much holds a bunch of different oil stocks. And you can see this stock ended up in the green today. Like we talked about, Mike, that energy sector did extremely well today. And there was actually a pretty big reason as of why this happened. So Biden actually spoke today and said that oil companies should ramp up production instead of buying back stock and paying dividends. And he did speak a little bit more about oil stocks. So I thought it was very interesting, Mike. These stocks ended up getting some good momentum off of this. XLE's breaking out in a big way. Even Exxon and Mobil had a very nice breakout up above 103 today as well. So I really like these oil stocks for the next couple of days. And especially with inflation still going crazy, I think we could possibly see maybe a continuation back up on some of these. Like look at ZOM. It's actually almost back up to yearly highs, which is crazy to say.
Good stuff. Speaking about the energy industry, there's an unusual options trade that I saw today that really caught my eye, and it's with ticker symbol VST. So basically, I saw $1.6 million flow into the VST 17 strike call options that expire on January 19th of 2024. So that's awesome. It's an in the money position. It has a lot of time. This stock is basically has to do with electricity and just energy generation. So that's awesome. Power generation, that industry and just the energy, electricity, oil and gas industry has been holding up very well relative to other industries this year. So that's awesome. The calls are deep in the money. It's an opening position. It definitely looks like a bullish play. And, when you see $1.6 million flowing into deep in the money calls with time, how can you not look at them?
Yeah, especially on an energy company that's been having a lot of crazy news and volatility this year. So definitely keep your eyes on that one, guys. I really like these oil stocks, and I feel like that VST might be a pretty good play, Mike. That is a lot of money flowing into this. Kind of reminds me how Warren Buffett's been bullish on oil lately. It seems like he's actually been pretty good, Mike, with Oxy and ZOM and all these stocks actually still up around highs. It's still been playing out well.
Yeah, like anything to do with that energy industry, whether it's oil and gas, whether it's electricity, whether it's solar, even some of these uranium plays have been holding up very well. So it should be a pretty interesting next couple months with all of those stocks. But Tom, it's time for the momentum plays. With the first one, we have Amazon, but to the downside.
Yeah, poor Amazon here. They had a pretty bad almost triple bottom today, Mike. I will say I'm seeing a bit of a trend line here on this chart. So if we end up falling below this trend and drop below 113.80, I think we could see a pretty accelerated sell-off to the downside, especially if we see the SPY sell off too.
Boom. All right, with the next one, we have CCL, but to the upside.
CCL, yeah, this stock's been on fire. It had a pretty bad end of day pullback with support there, right around like 760. If they can break out above 775, I think they could start to recover back up tomorrow.
Love it. Then with the last one, we have Boeing, also to the upside.
Boeing straight up exploded today. That hybrid bot play was something else, especially early in the morning there. Make Boeing break above intraday resistance right around 139.
Love to see it. So we are watching Boeing and CCL for potential day trades to the upside tomorrow, only if they break above the levels Tom listed. And then we are watching Amazon for a potential day trade to the downside tomorrow, only if it breaks below the level Tom listed. But if you guys are looking for daily options alerts and looking to join an awesome community filled of short-term traders, swing traders, day traders, long-term investors, check out that first link in the description in the comments down below. Our bot today called out the Boeing 140 strike calls at $230 each, and they popped all the way up to $310 each just a couple hours later. These types of alerts happen every single day. Of course, not every single play pops, but the bot does a dang good job. So it capitalized off of upwards movement, but then Tom came in clutch today with some downwards movement on Meta. So, whether the market goes up or down, our goal is to profit in both situations. We have day trades, swing trades, custom bots you won't find anywhere else. an awesome community you can network with. You can chat with Tom and myself all day, every day. We have a coupon running for your first month. And in the worst case scenario, you can cancel at any time. So definitely check out that first link in the description and the comments down below. It's awesome. But Tom, I'm very excited going into tomorrow. It's been a wild month, and the volatility is just going to continue. We have big earnings coming up and a lot of exciting events. So I'm pumped.
Yeah, exactly, Mike. And that S&P 500 or SPY today was extremely volatile. We actually had a bit of a midday sell-off happen in the middle of the day, and then we ended up recovering back. So be very careful the next couple of days. These earnings are going to make SPY get extremely volatile, and I cannot wait till next week, Mike. It's going to be crazy again. So let's be ready, guys. Let's take advantage of this movement. And like you said, Mike, a lot of these plays lately have been on fire, especially that Boeing play this morning. Like, look at that amazing breakout there up above 139. We got to take advantage of these nice scalps.
You know it. And before we close out, I just want to say subscribe if you're new. We have a bunch of great videos that we post every single day. And we also want to give a giant shout out to today's member of the day, Nick D. Thanks so much for being an awesome member of our Discord. You've been posting a lot of great stuff lately, and we appreciate your insight. And guys, definitely check out this video on the screen right now. It is an awesome video that goes in depth on what's going on in the market right now, what's currently driving the market, some of the biggest risk factors to watch, and some important things to know going forward. Definitely check it out.